They finally did it. Welcome back to the Scale Builders Guild. Thanks again for watching. Today we're taking a first look and review of the new Axial SCX10III 1987 Toyota XtraCab. And here it is, a licensed Toyota body in a proper scale from Axial Racing. Axial Adventures. I've been waiting for a licensed Toyota from Axial probably since the original Honcho came out. Some of you might be too young to even remember that, but it was a long time ago, before my bones made noise. Here it is. Lots of great things to talk about on this one, but it is, at its base, an SCX10III Portal-based truck with this really good-looking body on it. It's a pretty good iteration of an actual 1987 Toyota XtraCab, a licensed body from Toyota. Some subtle differences. This one's slightly pinched at the front and slightly dovetailed in the rear. It's also caged out with this really cool looking exo cage, and it's got some very nice plastic accessory bits that really do make this look very, very good. Let's start by talking about some of those things. The licensed trail gear bumpers. This front bumper looks really great and is sort of an homage to the original Honcho itself. Does have a fairlead space here behind this little cover, which is a nice little detail. Nice tube look, very tight to the body, which will help aid in performance. Definitely more performance based around this whole truck, and we'll get into some of those details as well. Really nice exo cage builds into this nice caged rear as well. This cool license plate holder is a pretty nice touch. Another trail gear rear tube bumper, which has a nice Axial logo covering the tow hitch. So you can take that out. I believe there may be some accessories included. We'll find out here in a moment. But really nice to see that they've done a bobbed bed as well, which will help aid in performance. A bobbed bed essentially means that the full-size bed would have been chopped at some point and welded back together. They would remove a bunch of material and then weld it back together to make it shorter overall, so there's less rear overhang to help aid in performance. Also, by dovetailing it, you also get that additional kind of less obstacle grabbing bits of bed, and you get your tires to stick out a bit further, giving you a much more performance oriented truck. The same with the pinch in the front. One other nice thing about this body is it is clipless, of course, as you can see, but what they've done here to hide some of the body retention and hard plastic bits is put these nice little hood clips on there, and I think that actually kind of aids in the overall look and gives it a much more aggressive look. Overall, I'm quite happy with how the body looks. It can take a little while to get used to the weird proportions of a bobbed bed, but I think that overall this looks pretty decent. It comes in this red color with the Trail Gear logo on the side, which I have to say is probably one of the worst logos I've ever seen. It also comes in this beautiful tan color with these really great Toyota stripes, which I think is substantially better looking. There are lights as well, as you can see, headlights and marker lights in the front and tail lights in the rear. These whole tail light buckets assemblies are separate from the Lexan body, so there is no Lexan portion there. That is all hard plastic and a sticker mounted to the cage. So presumably, with a little bit of work, you can get these whole Lexan rear bed fenders off the truck and just maybe do like a caged rear. I think that might actually look pretty cool. We'll definitely be taking these Trail Gear logo stickers with the flames and everything off because those look bad. I'm sorry. They don't look good at all. I'm not a fan. Another Trail Gear tie-in are these beadlock wheels. They are Trail Gear branded, and they do have a version of the TSL Super Swamper vented wheel instead of a vented tire. Really soft foams, so I don't feel like these are going to perform very, very well. I feel like they're a bit soft for the weight of this truck because it is not a very light truck. It is rather heavy. There's a lot of hard plastic accessories on here that do add to the weight overall. But I feel like still, because of the way they've done this body and the transmission that they've added, which is the LCXU transmission with the dig unit, this is probably going to be the best performing compared to best looking of the SCX10IIIs. I still think the best looking SCX10III is the CJ. That one by far is the best. It's incredible. It's a little bit larger in terms of the scale, but it's the best looking. Best performing, but also best looking? probably going to be this one. If you think there's something else out there that's better in the SCX10III world, throw a comment down below. You know I love reading through your feedback, and I try to answer as many of those comments as I can. A couple other things to mention in terms of hard plastic bits. There is a nice looking fuel cell mounted in the back of the bed here. There's also removable rock light assemblies here, so you can add your own rock lights or take those off completely. Those are also molded into the front plastic assembly as well. And this nice front plastic grille is a really nice addition as well. Overall, I think it looks pretty darn good. One gripe I have about this whole body system is that it is, while it is clipless and there is no clips on the outside to get in the way of the scale looks, it isn't the easiest body to put on. It's rather easy to take off. There's a nice big spring-loaded tab here. You put 2 fingers underneath, push down on that clip, and the spring-loaded thing comes off and the whole body gets removed. There's a big tab at the front here. You can see it's like a tongue sort of thing, and you slide a post into that. That's where it's a little bit harder to get this to go back on, because you do have to kind of find the right place to get it, and then it'll go on quite well. This is probably still the best iteration of the clipless body. The one on the Coyote was quite good. This one I feel is better. It feels a little more robust, and it probably should be because there's a lot of extra accessories on this body. Speaking of, let's get this body off again, and I'm going to show you how strong and rigid it is. Now, obviously, to get it off completely, you will have to detach the 2 LED lights. But look at all of that bracing on the inside of the hood. Man, oh man, that's a lot going on in there, and it does help add to the rigidity of this body. Note that the windows are clear adjacent, so you could put an interior in there and really make this thing come alive, which is probably something we should do. Moving on to the chassis, you're not going to find a lot of things that are vastly different from other SCX10IIIs, but the implementation of how they've done some things is different enough to talk about and worthy of talking about. First things first, look at how much bracing there is on this front bumper. They are expecting people to hit a lot of obstacles with it, I guess, and they've added this whole bunch of extra plastic on top here to keep it really rigid, which I have to say does look pretty good, and it's very strong, of course. Like every other SCX10III, you can add a servo-based winch here, and like I said, remove that plate on there, and then your fair lead will come out the front there. Nice looking front bumper assembly. Like I said, LCXU transmission with the dig unit already included. Wired up to a 3-channel radio, which is the, where is it? I had it right here for this video, SLT3. And you know it's for Axial because the power button's green. Got your dig unit there, and it is on a momentary switch, so you won't be burning out that servo provided you don't keep that on the whole time. Nice implementation of a slider here as well, worthy of mentioning. Lots of material going on here. It is pretty heavy duty, but very nice and smooth underneath, which is a very nice looking set of sliders. I gotta say, they've done a really nice job keeping that very clean under there. That is a nice improvement for sure. And plenty of battery space. They've got these nice rubberized hold down straps for your battery. And of course they include the hardware to change the overall length of battery that this will accept, so you can go to a shorty pack, and they include a secondary shorter rubber strap to accommodate for a shorter battery should you want to do that. Sealed receiver box, and under there you will find a waterproof SR515 receiver, which is a 5-channel receiver, so you can add the 2-speed to this, I believe. One other thing that is new to this model that I don't think they've featured on other Axials is a 10% overdrive to these portal axles. So they've already done the heavy lifting of adding those gears to the LCXU transmission to give you that 10% overdrive, which is nice. I think 10% is sort of the bare minimum for a rock crawling specific crawler. 10% is probably the minimum I would go with, but it's nice that they include that. 35-turn brushed motor, nothing fancy there. 1040 style ESC, again, nothing fancy there either, but it will do the job. Aluminum bodied and aluminum cap shocks with a plastic rod end. So a little bit of the best of both worlds. All the adjustment to the shock towers that you would expect, fitted with 90mm shocks for the portal axles, which I might mention as well are new housings. These are licensed Trail Gear portal axles. You can see the Trail Gear logo there on the center pumpkin. I do like how much bracing there is. Otherwise, I think it's going to be pretty much the same axle that we've come to expect on the SCX10III, just a different molding. But still, it looks quite good. I'm not upset with that. And we've got a nice offset front, which does really add to the scale, accuracy, and look of the truck. I think they've done a really nice job there. Another thing to note, these links, 4-link rear and 3-link front, they don't have that weird hole in the middle anymore. They've been ground down on one edge, so you can get a tool in there and adjust the wheelbase a little bit if you needed to. But at least they're a little more scale now that they don't have those weird holes. I think that's a real benefit. One other thing to mention on that fuel cell, it's not functional in any way. You couldn't put electronics in there or anything. It's really just for the body retention system. But overall, very impressed with the basics of this truck. I think looks-wise, we can make some big improvements, not just in terms of removing stickers, but adding some other stickers. Speaking of, they do give you a couple of sticker sheets in the box. This one, of course, has all those Toyota stripes on it, but it also would have had all of the other stickers on it. So you can see that it's sort of dual function. The factory gets to take some stickers off, you get to put some stickers on. There's also some additional Trail Gear logos, which will get thrown right in the garbage. And some bumper stickers and Axial Adventure themed goodness. There's a Sasquatch in many different colors and honk if you heart Axial. So that's cool. That's nice to see. Along with the SLT3 radio, you also get a T-wrench and a hex wrench or two. That's the shortened battery strap and some of the bits you'll need to shorten your battery tray. No hitch. Is there a hitch? Wait, there is a hitch. That's not a hitch. There's no hitch included. It looks like all the parts you would need to do the 2-speed transmission are in there as well. And then you get a quick start guide and a regular manual as well. So everything you need to get started, ready to run, just add a battery and batteries for the transmitter. Did I mention the All Pro sliders? That's another branding tie-in there. These actually do look quite good, and they're a real nice addition to the truck. It just really kind of sells that off-road adventure kind of crawler kind of vibe. They've done a nice job there. In terms of electronics, you're not getting anything new. There's no surprises there. All the stuff that you would expect. An SX108 PM, which is an analog servo for the dig unit. A 1040 ESC with a bunch of light outputs coming from the receiver. Actually, let's open the receiver box and see what we've got in there. It's nice to see a return to the waterproof receiver box. I know it's not necessary, but yes, there is an actual physical rubber grommet in there, so that will help keep it waterproof. These receivers are waterproof though, so I'm not sure why they ended up doing that. As for the pigtails coming out for the lights, those are coming out of the receiver, so those are 6 volts, so you can replace those lights with any other system that you like. Shouldn't be too difficult, and there's still plenty of room on this slider to add another control box for said lights if you wanted to do that. It's a My Trick RC, of course, for rock lights and headlights and all the good stuff. So good little system there for sure. One other thing to note on this exo cage is that they do have spaces for additional light buckets. So if you wanted to add some light buckets like some sort of spotlight or fog lamps, anything like that, you've got space to do that. So nice that they thought about that as well. One other criticism I have of this new XtraCab is that there are no front inner fenders. I really thought that that was a thing we were always going to see from Axial. For whatever reason, they were not included here. Also, it would have been nice to have an interior, but I understand that with all of this extra molded plastic, they had to make a concession somewhere. Obviously, an interior was one of them. Not sure why they didn't include inner fenders, at least in the front. You don't need them in the back on a caged out kind of build like this, but it would have been nice to see them in the front at least. It would have really completed the look overall. Otherwise, I really do like the look of this truck, and I think they did a really nice job with everything on it. You can also see that there are a bunch of additional holes already in this rear bed or rear cage area for other accessories. And I am not aware of anything yet from Axial, but I imagine that there will be at least some sort of spare tire assembly there. That would be nice to see. What else could there be? If you've got an idea, post a comment down below. And if you're interested in other ideas, you might want to check out the channel membership here on the YouTube channel, where I share all kinds of tips and tricks, how-tos, behind-the-scenes content, and all sorts of travel logs as well. If that's stuff that you're interested, you might want to consider joining, being a part of a small-knit group of community-minded people who get to share all kinds of fun stuff. So do me a favor and thank all of these loyal ding-dongs for being a part of that community. Thank you, ding-dongs. If you're interested, link down below. Now, because of the weather here, I'm screwed. There's too much snow to actually test a truck properly and to give you a good baseline. I would love to take this to the devil's playground and see how it performs in its very stock form, but that's just not going to be possible at this time of year. So we're going to have to do something else. And I think what we're going to have to do is customize this truck a little bit so we can get rid of these Trail Gear logos, because they're the worst. But I think what we'll do is we'll do some cosmetic changes, maybe change out the wheels and tires, because I'm not a big fan of these wheels either, and see if we can't make this look a little more me, if you will. The great thing about these trucks and about this hobby in general is that it's wide open for customization and adding all kinds of stuff to them to make them your own. That's what I really love about this hobby, and I'm sure you already know that, but there are so many things you can do to just take it to the next level and to have some fun with it too. So we're going to do that. You know what? Wheels and tires are always an easy one, so let's do that. While I'm not a huge fan of these wheels from Trail Gear, I do have to appreciate the fact that they did do a pretty decent job on the scale looks. I like all those bolt heads there and the covered nut. That really does kind of sell the whole look of it. And even the beadlock ring has that really kind of interesting look to it as well. So if you wanted to keep these and customize them, you could use some paint pens to really kind of knock out some of those details and really make it feel a bit more realistic. As you can see, I decided to go with the Vanquish Wild Peak MTs. This is from Falcon tires, and this is a 465-inch tall tire, which I think looks quite good. It's very close, actually, to the stock Super Swampers that I did want to mention one more time. This is obviously a TSL Super Swamper from Proline, but not really. It's not made at the Proline factory in the United States. It's made overseas. And it's very close in terms of the mold, but it is a different mold. So it's not exactly the same tire, and those foams are really, 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 really soft. On these Falcon Wild Peaks, I've got a nice dual stage foam. I have vented the tire rather than the wheel, of course. These are Method Roosts, also from Vanquish, something you can't get anymore, but I have a set. Luckily, 2 sets actually. And I thought they were a really nice match for the era and the look of this truck that I was going for. The dark silver color, or dark gray color, which they also don't do very often anymore, was a really nice match to the stripe pattern that I've added. And I've got some scaled dress-up hardware on there, some locking hubs up front, and then some locked hubs in the rear, just a 3D print that I did. I think it all looks really good. Now, one other thing I would like to add before we sort of say this is customized for now is some actual panel gaps. And, with Lexan bodies, they do mold in the panel gaps and they do look pretty decent. But I've got a solution with some very thin tape that I think will really make this come alive and make it look as if there are actual gaps. So let's get to that. There we go, some nice realistic looking panel gaps. I think they actually look really, really good. Maybe hard to see there, but certainly easier to see there. And I think that looks really good. It adds another level of depth to a Lexan body. And yes, I will be resetting that counter. So I think what we'll do now is cut up some new graphics for these rear Axial logos. I wouldn't mind doing some kind of fresh kind of diagonal kind of approach there to make it feel a little more modern. We'll see how that looks in a second. And there you have it. Now we've got a nice Axial logo on the hood. Yes, I ended to take them off of the bed altogether. I don't know. There's just something that looked kind of, amateur about that. Give us a nice tie-in with all those pinstripes. I think it actually looks quite good. And with this new wheel and tire combo, I think we've kind of mastered the art of a ready-to-run. I think it's overall looking pretty good. I think what we'll do, once the weather gets nicer, is we'll take this out for an actual trail run and rock crawl and all that good stuff. And then I'll give you a nice Lexan demo on weathering, because I think these can look really good when they're weathered properly. So I think that's something we'll have to hold on to for another time, but there you go. My thanks, of course, to Axial for sending me this new SCX10III 1987 Toyota XtraCab, and of course to you for watching. Is this something you're going to be picking up? Put a comment down below. You know I love reading through your feedback, and I try to answer as many of those comments as I can. I think this is going to be a pretty good seller for Axial. It does take an existing platform and just amplifies everything, including a really cool body. That's going to do it, though. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you again next time.